Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. Here are your hosts, Lady Alba and Lord Knight.
Reality cannot be manifested.
Interesting. That's going to ruffle some feathers. Okay.
All right. Well, don't get me wrong. I understand we can split the atom. All right. And we can destroy reality. But to this date, we have never made a fission engine.
So I think what needs clarification, if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, when you talk about reality,
I'm talking about this physical world we live in.
Gotcha. As opposed to the individual's reality.
Right.
Right. Because the individual's reality can be altered. We know that.
Well, that is your perception of reality.
Perception, your state of being, your emotional state, mental state, physical state, all of that can be altered.
Right. I mean, again, you have drug hallucinations and...
Well, sure. But even just... everybody's fond of saying mind over matter.
Right.
Right. I think part of what you're talking about is the difference between the science of the physical realm versus sympathetic magic.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there is no spell that's suddenly going to make the earth spin backwards.
No, but many people have tried.
Well, Superman.
Leave Clark Kent out of this, okay? Okay.
We're not going to go there.
Okay.
That's too much.
All right.
But there's my problem is everybody actually believe. I believe that there are some people out there actually believe that they can change the way this reality works.
Right. That they can
the
change
physical
gravity.
laws.
That
Right.
they can... make the sun move backwards.
Levitate the Pentagon.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this even goes to things like changing weather.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, again, I believe we can change the weather, but we do it through the whole butterfly effect, sort of.
Well, I think too, the thing that we have to sort of establish in this conversation is that it's not that it can't be done. It's that we have yet to encounter a power source great enough
To do this.
to do it, right?
Right.
Like gravity is the strongest force that we know of.
Right.
So changing gravity is a monumental feat that's beyond our comprehension, which is part of what makes it impossible to change.
Right. Or at least
Okay.
from our viewpoint where we are right now, it's
Yeah.
impossible to change. Again, breaking the laws of physical reality is not an easy feat. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying the likelihood of us doing it anytime soon is way far off.
Very slim. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. The hydro, the collider, the big collider.
Okay. Yes.
You know, this is starting to get to the level of power needed to really warp reality.
This has always been fun because you love physics.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. And physics and science and mechanics, and this has always been an area in which you excelled. And it is somewhat funny because for a witch to be that entrenched in that, you're the first person in most cases that I've seen to go, can we put the pseudoscience aside?
Yes.
Yeah. And most witches thrive on pseudoscience.
It's true.
Yeah.
They love it. The more pseudo, the more arcane it is, the better off it is because they got more room to play.
Right.
It's kind of like, the reason I love quantum physics. There's so much room to play.
Yeah. Okay. He likes getting over all our heads, just FYI. That's what's happening right now. Okay. So what does this mean, though?
Well,
If we
I
can't
guess
change our
it's-
reality.
So what do we mean? What are we actually talking about when we're talking about manifesting destiny or manifesting reality? I hear this all the time about people going, we create our own reality.
Right, mind over matter.
Over the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And I'm saying, well, that's not completely true. We have matter here. A tree's never going to become a dog.
Right.
As far as I know.
Okay.
It might be in the shape of a dog, but...
So it's working within our limitations?
Yes.
Yeah. It's understanding what those limitations are.
Exactly.
Okay. So, curiosity question.
Oh, God.
What would you have said to the alchemists of old, right, on their infinite quest to turn base metals into gold?
Well, actually, it is possible to turn lead into gold because you just need to take protons and electrons away.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, if you want me to sit here and say that alchemists learned how to do this and stuff like that, I'm going to be very dubious.
Well, they never did, right?
As far as we know,
they never succeeded. And chances are the reason they never succeeded is because the knowledge and the science available to them at the time did not exist. We didn't have the technology that would have made it possible.
Right. I mean, because to a certain extent, this is what we're talking about, that scene from Iron Man 2, where he's trying to come up with that new element.
Yeah.
And his dad's kind of like sitting there showing him what he's got to do. He's just sitting there going, I ain't got the technology to do it.
Right. So, and this is what a lot of scientists understand and why it's theoretical, right?
Right.
We think we can do these things, but the technology is not yet there. We don't have the means. So it is futile to some extent, I think, when some people are obsessed with a certain working or spell to have a particular outcome. They're probably just spinning their wheels, truthfully. And I mean, they could do it infinitely and waste a tremendous amount of time and effort and have nothing to show for it.
I mean, right. We're talking about the person that does the whole entire, I'm going to cast a spell for a job, but I'm not going to fill out any applications or put my resume.
Right.
I'm going to wait for Bill Gates to pop up at my house to give me this $50,000 job a year.
Right.
You know, this is where I worry, and I see a lot of people in the community seem to be going to thinking that these improbable things are going to start happening.
Yeah, I get you. I think I kind of liken it to, the mermaid revolution that took place recently, right? There's all these people that are like, I'm a mermaid. No. You're a very good swimmer in a costume. That's not the same thing. Can you find artistry in it? Yes. Can you find peace in it? Yes. Can you find mysteries? Can you find
legends?
Sure. Can you appreciate and honor this idea? Absolutely. But are you going to convert yourself into an actual oceanic dwelling, half human, half fish? No. Right.
I mean, I believe a lot of things are possible with magic, but there are just some things I think are a little bit beyond.
Yeah.
And I still believe that people actually believe, yes, that there are spells to make trees walk and.
Yeah, I mean, it's even healing spells to some extent. People getting way over their head, right?
Right.
It is the common cold, the simple ache or pain. Sure, we can manipulate those.
Right.
We can change things surrounding them. We can change outcomes, but there are certain things that, yeah, it's just too big. And we don't have enough of a well to draw upon for the amount of power that's needed to make those kinds of changes.
Exactly. But again, I still have this fear where I see people doing this or seem to be alluding to this, that there are ways to create or manifest or suddenly become a fairy. We're talking about fairies with wings, not the ones that actually know how to dress.
Right. Right. Why you gotta call out your own people like that? Damn. Come on now. No, I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, it is. And I think at some point, every witch has a bit of hubris to believe that they can
Yes.
do something like that. And I do think we experiment. I think we try. And then the difference is when it fails, how do we react?
Well,
Do people sit back and...
Well, I think our problem is we start off, and we've all done this. Either we're messing with smoke from a fireplace,
Sure.
making it move one way, or messing with the flames or
Yep.
something. And then once you're starting to realize, okay, this is easy to move around and do, then suddenly, well, then how hard is it to change a stick?
Right.
And again, the problem is when you're dealing with air, you have molecules that are less put together, easier to push around.
Yeah.
You know, unlike a mountain.
That's true. Yep, that's exactly what I was just thinking. You know, moving a mountain is a completely different thing.
Versus trying to move air or something else around.
Right. But it does have to do with scientific basis. You have to
Right.
have an equal or greater force.
Against those.
Yeah.
And then we're bringing that science back into our religion, unfortunately, and it's there. We can't ignore it.
No, it's not. And I do get frustrated when I meet pagans that don't have at least a rudimentary grasp of electricity and electrical workings and
Well, I mean,
the elements and the science behind them, what we know. There's a part of me that goes, if every witch went back and took a
5th grade science class.
yes, specifically a 5th grade earth science class.
Thank you.
What they would glean and what would come of that would be epic. Take a basic course in biology. I mean, these things really do have an awful lot to do with our beliefs.
It really does, and I think it's something we need to encourage people to do. You need to go out. You need to learn the earth sciences.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sitting here going, hey, you know, you need to become a scientist and the most geeked out person ever. But it'd be nice to know if you knew how, you know, lightning actually worked. Yeah. You know, how the seasons actually change and how the sun moves around the earth and all this other stuff, because we've done those classes where we're sitting there, we're explaining. And again, it's 5th grade science.
Yeah. And it's amazing how many grown adults are either have forgotten it completely, or it really is,
or they never understood
new
it
to them. Yeah,
Right.
and some of them still don't understand it, and they're afraid to say so. They're afraid to just go, "Yeah, I don't get it."
I don't get it.
But it's critical because, I mean,
when you're sitting there explaining the distance of the sun and the Earth's tilt, how in the world it causes the seasons, and how this relates to the wheel of the year, and all, there's a lot of science behind that.
Yeah. I had a conversation not that long ago with someone in the rock community, because I do have a very avid rock collection. That's for another episode. but the discussion was about moon rock and how to obtain them, and you know where you can still get them, and it was a funny conversation because one of my friends said, well, technically you're standing on moon rock. And this, of course, baffled that. They weren't comprehending. We're like, the moon broke off from the earth.
Right.
The moon is a part of so the rocks here are the same rocks that are there. They're not any different. So that was a fun revelation. No, it's true. I mean, but we still have to offer people hope, right? There still there is still the want to believe, right? It's the X-Files. I want to believe.
Well, again, as soon as you bring up science and stuff and religion and stuff, everybody's automatic. Okay, now we're just took all the spirituality, put it in a trash bag, and threw it out the door.
Yeah, you're right. That's how it feels to a lot of people.
And that's how it feels. And I'm like, but no, that ain't what we're doing. We still have that.
Okay.
I mean, in our religion, you're not going to tell me we still don't have those mysteries.
Oh, no, of course we do. But it can be very disheartening.
Once you learn the science and some of the stuff behind it, it does take some of the mystery and the luster away of some of the stuff we do.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also believe it also brings a new appreciation to it.
Yeah.
That you didn't have before.
Yeah.
Because now it's no longer this shiny little object you get to keep in a shelf or somewhere. It now becomes a tool on your counter that you can use.
Right. That's the yeah. I mean, there's a lot of yeah. It's. I think about being a homeowner, and I go, it's kind of like that. Like I remember when I was much younger, and something broke in my house or went wrong. I was clueless. I had no right. I was calling my dad, going, I don't know what to do. And he would have to walk me through these ridiculously simple things. Whereas now I have enough knowledge. I may not be able to fix what's wrong,
but you know what's wrong.
But I can reasonably deduce what has happened in many instances.
You can reasonably deduce on who you need to pick up the phone and call to come fix the problem.
Yes. I understand that if I see water, I need a plumber. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But there's something to that. And I know that for a lot of practitioners, especially the people who are dabbling in magic, that's where it can get very scary because some outcomes happen that they don't expect or they didn't think would happen. Sometimes nothing happens. And then depending on which one, it can be terrifying.
Oh, it can.
It kind of scares the shit out of people. You need more coffee, clearly. Yeah.
Coffee's the solution to everything.
It is. It is the solution to everything.
You got a broke leg, drink coffee. Mm-hmm. You got a bad love life, drink coffee.
Coffee. Yeah. How are you going to meet new people if you don't go to the coffee shop? So, yeah, there's... This is really, really interesting. I would love to hear, other people's perspective and thoughts and experiences with this. I think for me, it's a little hard because I'm like, I've been doing this so long. I don't think that way anymore.
I have that same problem. I have that same problem because, again, we've been doing this for so long. It's hard to think other ways.
Right.
And now I sit here and like you said, you're Catholic. I'm Southern Baptist. Last time I was in a Southern Baptist church, I'm looking at Lord Oswin going, what the hell are they doing?
That's funny.
Because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in so long. I'm like, So again, here we have this problem is we're used to thinking this way. We don't know how not to think.
Right. That's a really good point, which also then brings about how even as long as we've been doing it, we still need to continually explore
these subjects.
Yeah, and be
thoughts.
aware of what's new, because you're right. I mean, the science and the technology moves quickly.
Well, think about it like this, all right? As fast as technology moves. Just less than a year ago, you would do one of these AI pictures, and they would come out really weird.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now you do it, and they're kind of scary.
Yeah, AI tech has moved so quickly.
And that's just in a year.
Yeah.
And I saw last night where somebody did an AI thing, then somebody else took that AI picture, took it to another AI who animated it.
Oy. Wow. But some people would say, is that not a reality?
Is it? Is virtual reality an actual reality?
That's where, right, it's because science fiction in many ways is now.
Right.
It's happening. And my God, some of the technology that exists now, our elders would be like, are you kidding me? Like, I could have just gone to a website and looked up the moon phases and known the exact time of they were sitting there calculating it with mathematical equation.
We had to learn that math.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of our studies.
Yes.
And God forbid, if so help me, if I ever have to teach someone how to do the sunrise and sunset calculation.
Yeah, but there's a reason why we do. And then, the other problem becomes we blindly believe the tech now. We blindly believe the information.
We accept it readily.
Right. Google is God.
Right.
If Google said so, well, then clearly it must be.
And Wikipedia is always true.
Yeah.
But I mean, we fool ourselves into this.
We do. It's a false sense of security.
Could it also be a false sense of superiority?
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah.
We are so sure of what we know that we're going to solidify it and stick it onto this tablet.
Yipes. That's a good one to chew on.
1,000 years from now, because someone missed the decimal, they're going to continue to look how bad they fucked up right here.
Oh, no, that's so true, though. Oh, God. Yeah.
Because even on the internet, nothing's ever deleted. Nothing's ever gone.
No, it's not. Which, again, is we're living in such a different time. And I mean, come on, when I first came to Temple, the idea of having a ritual via computer or was unheard of. Now we know elders that are conducting this practice on a regular basis and conducting they're not virtual rituals because they are taking place physically, but not together.
Well, I've seen people
but
in some
yet
of these
together.
I've seen people in these RPGs show up in the game in a special area and do ritual.
Oh man. Wow. See, that's wild to me.
And then now you have the Oculus stuff and all that going on now. So how much longer until?
I guess the real question is, how do we remain grounded in what is reality and what isn't in order to be able to understand what we can and can't influence?
Well, and how disappointing when, in virtual reality, we have this big temple and everything's really dramatic and all this, and then we go to do ritual in real life. Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, is it going to be that much of a letdown to where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore?
That's rough. That is, wow. But that's fascinating because it makes me think about a friend of mine has a 6-year-old daughter, and, she has a tablet. She knows how to use cell phones, and I think he said that she was introduced to an Etch-a-Sketch, and the first thing she did was try to touch screen it to turn it on. She was like, why isn't it working? And he was like, no, you have to turn the knobs, and showing her, and she was like not getting it. She was like, no, but it's got to turn on first, and trying to tap it and touch screen it. It was incredible to watch. And yeah. But her reality dictates it has a screen.
It has a screen.
That should work that way.
Well, I mean, that's like, I remember me and Lord Oswald were moving, and my nephew came over to the house and picked up one of his old 45s and was like, this is an awful funny looking CD.
Yeah. Now kids don't know what CDs are.
And now kids don't even know what CDs are. God forbid. Wow. Don't even say floppy around them.
No. Yeah, there's so many things that we are used to that they're totally new. Huh.
So, I mean, the question is where do we go? I mean, as a religion, how do we deal with all these new technologies and stuff coming on where, yes, reality is going to be more suggestible?
We integrate, we adapt. I mean, it's what you and I are doing right now. Again, our elders wouldn't have been able to fathom the idea of a podcast.
No.
They would go, wait, what do you mean? You're on the radio? No. You're broadcasting like a signal? No. It would make, no sense. And back in the day, right, we didn't do that sort of thing because that would have been oh boy, that would have been a major problem on a number of levels. Between proselytizing, being way too out in the open, giving away mysteries. There's a slew of problems. The anonymity.
Right.
There's all kinds of things that go with that are an issue. But now, this is one of the major ways we communicate and we reach out and
share ideas
Yeah.
and thoughts.
Man,
A lot to think about.
it is. I need more coffee.
So do I.
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning.